All right, let's talk about how a really specific personal taste in design can become a seriously powerful business. Today, we're going inside Kept London, an online antique store that has totally cracked the code on how to sell history to the modern home. Let's see how they're doing it. So, picture this. You see a beautiful old chair, maybe a piece of art, and you just fall in love with it. But then, that little voice of doubt starts whispering, is this going to look right in my living room? Is it going to clash with my sofa? It's a super common problem for anyone trying to build a home that actually has some character.
And right there, that's the fundamental disconnect. On one side, you've got your traditional antique shops. You know the ones that can feel a bit like dusty museums, and you feel like you need a history degree just to walk in. On the other side, you have today's homeowner. They're busy, they want a look that feels put together, and they are terrified of making a big, expensive style mistake. They want the story, but they don't have time for all the homework.
This huge gap in the market creates what we can call the antique buyer's dilemma. It's a real challenge that was just sitting there, waiting for someone to come up with a modern solution.
And wouldn't you know it, that solution showed up in early 2021. Kept London launched right in the middle of that pandemic-fueled home decorating craze. It was designed from day one to be digital first, which put it in the perfect position to solve this very specific problem.
So, how did they actually pull it off? Let's break down Kept's Curated solution, because this is where their business model gets really, really smart.
The secret sauce is a concept we can call aesthetic risk mitigation. It sounds a little fancy, but what it means is that Kept isn't just selling old stuff, they're selling confidence. Every single item they offer has already been expertly vetted to fit a specific, really desirable style. For the customer, it means you literally can't make a mistake. All the guesswork is just gone.
And let's be clear, this isn't some algorithm or a bunch of trend reports at work. The entire brand is built around the founder's personal taste. It's that single, human-led vision that guarantees every piece fits, which keeps the quality and the style incredibly consistent.
So, what exactly is that vision? Well, it's not just a random collection of antiques. It's a very specific look. We're talking popular motifs like faux bamboo and bobbin furniture, really accessible and beautiful decorative art, and materials like brass and glazed pottery. And, crucially, they tend to focus on smaller items that are perfect as accents in modern homes, steering clear of those heavy, dark Victorian pieces that can just swallow a room whole.
Okay, so you might be wondering, where on earth do they find all this amazing stuff? Well, it turns out their sourcing strategy is just as intentional as their aesthetic.
See, Kept doesn't just shop in one country. They have this brilliant pan-European strategy. They pull classic English pieces from the UK, find those ornate decorative elements in France, and source clean 20th century art and design from Sweden. The result is this incredible harmonized collection that you just won't find anywhere else.
And you know what's really cool? This whole way of doing business by only dealing in things that already exist means they are perfectly aligned with the circular economy. They're tapping right into that modern consumer desire to make more conscious, sustainable choices.
I mean, the brand says it best themselves. It's a simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. When you buy something from Kept, it's not just a design choice, it's an environmental one. You're giving a beautiful object a whole new life.
Okay, so the model is brilliant. The taste is impeccable. But this brings us to the biggest hurdle for any business that's built on such a personal vision, the problem of growth. And this is it, right? The million-dollar question. When your greatest strength, that one-of-a-kind curatorial eye, is completely tied to one person, how in the world do you grow the business without watering down the very thing that makes you so special?
I mean, just look at the process, and you can see the problem clear as day. The founder's hands-on involvement is what guarantees the quality and the style. But that same involvement creates a natural bottleneck. There are only so many hours in a day and only so many pieces one person can find, check, and approve.
And on top of that, you've got the operational nightmares. Shipping these unique, often fragile items all over the world is a massive logistical challenge. To protect themselves, Kept has to put the financial risk for things like shipping and returns onto the customer, and that can create a bit of friction when you're trying to make a sale.
So, all this means that the path forward can't just be about working harder. It has to be about working smarter. The strategy itself needs to evolve. So how does a business like this actually make that jump?
And here it is, the key strategic pivot. The future for a business like Kept isn't just about selling more things. It's about taking their most valuable, most unique asset, the founder's incredible taste, and turning that into a scalable service.
So here's what a potential roadmap to scale could look like. First, you carefully expand your sourcing network by bringing on trusted agents in Europe who truly get the vision. Second, you partner up. Target B2B collaborations with places like boutique hotels or high-end property developers. And third, you monetize the expertise itself by launching a high-end curatorial consulting service.
And this new service-based model, it would appeal to three really key groups. You've got professional interior designers who suddenly have a trusted partner for sourcing unique pieces. You've got aspirational homeowners who can now get expert help to build that curated home with total confidence. And finally, you have global collectors who get unmatched access to this very specific, hard-to-find aesthetic. It's a win-win-win. So that leaves us with this final thought. Kept London is way more than just a successful store. It's a perfect case study in the power of curation. In a world that is just flooded with AI recommendations and fast furniture, it proves that there is immense and scalable value in a trusted human point of view. So, what price do you put on good taste?